Hi, this is Leslie Buck from the General Education Program Council. In this video, I will be covering how to submit your ASCD Cycle II Fall 2020 evaluations. Before you get started with this process, I recommend that you get a digital copy of the student artifact and collect the student V number. For each section of an aligned general education course, we'll be selecting 2 artifacts to submit and evaluate this fall. We're asking for you to choose the 1st and 5th student on the roster at the time of the course assessment. If that student didn't complete this assessment, then select the next student on the roster that did. I'll be talking about some exceptions to this related to lab and lecture and linked courses in math and English a little bit later. Digital copies of student work can be downloaded from Blackboard. Paper assignments can be scanned through copy machines in your school office. These machines can email you a digital version of the student's work. For a Blackboard discussion assignment, please contact me directly for assistance, as these are a little bit more complicated. You'll be getting a printed copy of the rubrics sent to your campus mailbox, but the email and the Google form both contain links that will take you to those rubrics. Once you're ready, you'll open this Google form and answer the questions. The first page of the Google form is going to ask for your name. This is so we can contact you if there's any problems or issues with your submission. The next thing you'll be asked is what discipline the course is from. This is because the Google form will then refer you to only the questions that apply to your specific class. I'm going to start by showing you biology, and I will point out some differences with some of the other disciplines as I go. So once you've selected your discipline, you'll be directed to a set of course information questions that apply only to that discipline. Everyone will select the specific class and enter the section number. If you are teaching a science class, you will have an additional question to designate if this is a course with a lab and lecture with different section numbers. We are treating those as one class for this assessment, and the assignment that we're using may come from either the lab or the lecture. If you're unsure of which assignment you should be using for this project, start by contacting your faculty mentor or associate dean. So all we want to know here, if it is a science course, is it the lab section, the lecture section, or this is not a class that has lab and lecture with different section numbers. If you are teaching a math or an English composition course, your questions may look a little bit different. Once again, when you select your discipline, you'll be directed to a page that is specific for that discipline. You'll start by selecting your course, entering your section number. You'll let us know if this section is linked to another section to form a single class or not. If it's not, then you'll submit 2 students from that class section. If you are teaching a class with 2 linked sections, then we ask that you submit an artifact from 1 student from each of those sections for a total of 2 from this class. You are welcome to submit more than that. I'm going to continue the demonstration with biology, and this is what the rest of the process will look like for science and math classes. Science and math classes will be then directed to the technology literacy evaluation. This does not apply to communication and English classes. However, the process will be similar. You will start with information about the student artifact. Please provide the student V number. If you're not sure what this number is, see My Jeffco, your Faculty tab, and select Class Roster. This will give you a list of the student V numbers, and you can copy and paste straight from that roster. Please include the V in the number. The next thing you'll be asked to do is upload a digital copy of the artifact. You can either upload from a file on your device, or if you have it saved in My Drive, you can upload directly from My Drive. Once your file is uploaded, you will complete the evaluation process. We are going to send paper copies of the 2 rubrics to everyone's mailboxes on campus. You can also view these on your computer. The nice thing about the computer version is you can use the digital tools on your computer to make it large enough to actually read. Rubrics contain 2 pages. The first page always contains information about how the rubric was created, and often includes definitions and framing language that is useful to review before you complete your evaluation. The second page is the rubric itself. On the left-hand side, you will see a listing of the academic skill learning objectives. In this case, we have 4 different academic skills you will be evaluating. Across the top are the different performance levels that students may demonstrate in the assignment. This is what you will actually be selecting for that student's artifact. The Google form contains some of the definitions and framing language from the rubric, if you find it easier to just look at the information in the Google form. Then you'll see the 4 technology literacy skills. For each skill, you will look at the student artifact and make an evaluation of the level of performance the student demonstrated in that assignment. Not every assignment is designed to assess each of these specific academic skill learning objectives. So if you encounter one that your assignment is not designed to assess, there's a way for you to indicate that. So look at the student's work, look at the descriptors here, which again are word for word from that rubric, and make a determination of what you see the student doing in this one assignment. Once you've completed the technology literacy evaluation, you'll click Next to go to the information literacy evaluation. If you are an English or communication instructor, this is where you will go directly. The information literacy evaluation is going to be very similar. You will be asked to enter the student V number as described before. You will need to enter that number a second time here, even if the artifact you're submitting comes from the same student that you submitted for the technology literacy evaluation. And this is simply because of how the assignments are going to be linked to this information in the database created from the Google form. It is possible, if you are using 2 different assignments to assess technology literacy and information literacy, that you could have 2 different V numbers because one student may not have submitted both assignments. You will also be asked to upload a digital copy of the artifact. Again, even if this is the same student and it's the same assignment, we're asking that you submit that artifact twice because of the way the assignment and student identifying information is linked in our database. Once you have the student identifying information and the artifact that you'll be evaluating uploaded, you'll do something similar to what we did for the technology literacy. Again, there should be a printed copy of the rubric coming to your campus mailbox. There's also a digital copy here that you can click on and open. Again, the advantage of this digital copy as I can make it big enough for my poor eyes to be able to actually read it. The first page of this rubric contains some information about how it was created. This one comes from the Association of American Colleges and Universities, includes their definition and our definition, along with some framing language that may be important to review to help you understand the rubric. The second page of the rubric contains the academic skill student learning outcomes for these 5 specific skills listed down the left side. Across the top are the different levels of performance the student might demonstrate in your assignment. Again, this language is going to be replicated in the Google form, but if you like paper or like seeing it displayed in this nice format, this may be a better way for you to look at and make your evaluations than the Google form. Again, for that student artifact, you're going to look at each skill, and you're going to be selecting one level for each skill demonstrated in the artifact that you uploaded. So I've got the definition, I've got some of the framing language that was on the rubric, and then I have each of those 5 skills and the different performance levels, and for each one of those, you will go through and make an evaluation of what you see the student demonstrating in this particular artifact. As with all rubrics, your assignment may not be designed for the student to demonstrate every specific academic skill learning objective, and you can note the ones that the assignment is not designed to meet. Once you've completed your evaluation of those 5 information literacy skills, you will submit the Google form. After you submit your form, which will also be emailed to you for review, you can either edit your response if you notice a mistake, or you can submit another response. You must submit a separate form for each student. Remember, we're looking for 2 student artifacts per section of each general education course for this assessment. If you have any questions or need assistance, you can contact me directly. You can also schedule a Google Meet or phone training session with me via the Calendly link. Note that this link is also provided to my students, so you'll see that most of the options are student related. Just select the one for ASCD Cycle II so I know what we'll be talking about. Thank you so much for everything you do. Have a great end of fall semester.